Children deserve better than AI-generated stories. There's been a significant increase in children's picture books being published with AI. It is very easy to recognize the AI-generated illustrations, and if you look inside many of these books, it's clear that the stories are also AI-generated. I even received an email a while ago from someone in the publishing industry that I've respected for a long time. And to my dismay, they were promoting software to create high quality picture books using AI. I went and checked an example of a book created by this superior software, and let's just say the quality of the text and illustrations was deeply disappointing. It made me realize that many people simply don't understand what makes a high-quality picture book, which is why they struggle to distinguish between a well-written, well-illustrated book and a second-rate one. AI-generated stories leave much to be desired, and the illustrations don't have the magic or consistency needed to make a children's picture book come alive. It's honestly heartbreaking that kids are being exposed to such low quality books. Books play a vital role in shaping children, their views, their character, and even their imagination. Allowing something so crucial to be created by a machine is something that I cannot support. Here's an example of what I believe to be an AI-generated illustration paired with text that appears to have been created using AI. And just in case it's not clear, the text says, "Shoes and bag, no time to grieve. Out the door, it's time to leave. A treasure map, old and frayed, he found in his grandfather's chest. He played." The definition of creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas to create something, inventiveness. If this is the definition, how can we claim to have written a book using AI and still call it creativity? A machine doesn't have imagination. It generates content based on patterns and data it has been fed. It's also debatable whether it truly produces original ideas. The AI floodgates have opened, but at what cost? Today, I want to give you more information about AI and state my case as to why human creativity is still irreplaceable in creating imaginative and high-quality picture books. And just a note, toward the end, I share links to books that, in my opinion, appear to have been created using AI. These examples are provided for educational purposes to help you better understand what is currently on the market. AI for children's books. AI is becoming a tool that's hard to ignore, but as children's book authors and illustrators, we have to really give thought to how and if we want to use AI. While I don't think using AI to write or illustrate your book is ever a good idea for those considering it, there are a few obvious issues. For writing, garbage in, garbage out. A lot of people think AI can do it all when it comes to writing, but the truth is it's only as good as the input you give it. If someone doesn't know how to give clear, detailed prompts or doesn't have a solid grasp of writing craft, the results are going to reflect that. For example, if you ask AI to write a picture book about friendship without explaining the tone, age group, or structure you're looking for, it'll turn out something generic and poorly written. Even if you explain the tone, etc., you'll still end up at best with a maybe okay manuscript. And if you don't understand essentials like leaving room for the illustrator as your co-creator, story and character arcs, or using age-appropriate language, the story won't turn out well. A good children's book ignites imagination and it evokes an emotional response. AI doesn't bring the empathy, humor, or creativity needed to achieve that. The stories feel lifeless, predictable, or disconnected, or all of the above. So, if you are not familiar with what makes a strong picture book, so that you can refine whatever AI gives you, AI isn't going to write one for you. That's why learning the basics of writing craft is so important. And once you've done that, write your own book since you know how to do it by yourself. AI struggles with writing craft. AI tools, even if trained, often fail to grasp the fundamental elements of good writing. The AI books I've seen usually have a weak story and character arc, and they don't evoke an emotional response. A few quick examples of issues I've seen with AI writing. AI often writes unnecessary descriptions for picture books, not leaving visual details to the illustrator. Even for chapter books or middle grade novels, AI can be too descriptive. Stilted, overly flowery or formal language, inconsistent language, writing style or voice, violating basic principles like show, don't tell. For instance, instead of letting actions or dialogue reveal a character's emotions or motivations, AI tends to over-explain. All of these make the text feel heavy-handed and makes it not engaging for kids. Also, a lack of understanding of genre standards. Industry and genre standards are extremely important in children's books. AI doesn't always understand this. For example, word count. AI is not good at sticking to specific word counts. For children's picture books, the industry standards are 200 or less to 500 words for younger readers, 500 to 800 words for older ones, or less ideally. Vocabulary. While picture books can introduce a few new words to expand a child's vocabulary, the majority of the text should be simple and age appropriate. AI tools tend to use language that's too complex. Structure. Good picture books need tight pacing and clever page turns and consistency in the character and in their development. AI lacks the skill for this. And copyright challenges. Another major limitation of AI is the issue of copyright. In most countries, content created partially or entirely by AI cannot be copyrighted. This means that if you use AI to write your text or generate your illustrations, someone else could legally copy your book and sell it as their own. The US Copyright Office has recently started allowing some AI assistant content to be copyrighted, but only if a significant portion of the work is human created. They review such cases on an individual basis, focusing on whether there is substantial human authorship involved. This leaves a very gray area when it comes to creative work. If you've rewritten or significantly transformed AI-generated text or illustrations, your contributions might qualify for copyright, but the AI-generated portions will not. The bottom line is this. AI-generated content might seem convenient, but it comes with significant legal risks. To protect your work and your rights as an author, you need to write your own book and hire a human illustrator who draws, not prompts AI. AI doesn't make you an author. Lastly, but certainly not least, having AI write a book for you doesn't make you an author. Writing a children's book is about learning the craft, refining your skills, and sharing your unique story with the world. Being an author means taking the time to develop your writing voice, that special tone and style that sets your writing apart. It's about creating something that's truly yours, a story filled with your creativity, emotions, and perspective. AI can't do that. It's not you. As an author, you have the ability to connect with readers in a way that no machine ever could. The joy of writing and becoming a published author comes from pouring yourself into the work and watching your story take shape, knowing that it's a reflection of your imagination and effort, and that's what makes your story worth sharing. Author Joanna Maciejewska really hit the nail on the head when she posted the following on X. I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundry and dishes. For illustrations, AI doesn't see the big picture. A human illustrator doesn't just draw pictures, they bring emotion and intentionality to their work and create a cohesive vision for your book. They read your whole manuscript, get a feel for the full story, including the characters, message, emotions, and more. They work to ensure that the illustrations flow from one page to the next, creating one unified tapestry that tells your story. AI generates standalone images without understanding the bigger picture. This means AI images don't tell a story. They just represent snippets of text. On top of this, getting AI to produce an illustration for a very specific, especially more complicated vision you have for a scene from your book can be near impossible. Human illustrators can interpret the themes and emotions of your story and translate them into visuals. Subtleties like facial expressions, the mood conveyed through color and texture, or details that enhance the story, bring the story to life in ways AI cannot. That's the magic of a human illustrator and what they bring to your book. It is a magic no machine can replicate. AI lacks consistency. One of the biggest issues with AI-generated illustrations is the lack of consistency across a book. Characters will look different from one page to the next, and the overall style shifts subtly or very noticeably. Apart from looking unprofessional, children rely on visuals to engage with the story and recognize the characters. When the illustrations are inconsistent, it disrupts the flow and makes it harder for kids to connect to and follow the story. Here are 3 AI-generated images for a children's book illustration in watercolor style of a white and brown puppy playing with a ball, walking in a garden, taking a nap. I chose similar images. I could have chosen images that are much more dissimilar, but you'll see the style is very inconsistent. Apart from the inconsistency, I generated 19 images of a puppy playing with a ball, and not one of them captured the liveliness and joy of a puppy playing with a ball that I would like to see. Your audience deserves illustrations that enhance the story, not distract from it. AI lacks emotional depth and nuance. Illustrations aren't just decorations, they are integral to telling the story. A human illustrator can capture subtle emotional nuances that add depth and meaning to each scene. For example, a well-drawn facial expression can tell a child more about a character's feelings than many words. AI-generated images lack that level of nuance. The emotions feel flat and the illustrations can feel detached from the heart of the story and from readers. To demonstrate, I tried to recreate this beautiful illustration from The Tree in Me by Corinna Leuken. After many attempts, these are the 2 best images I got from AI. Apart from missing arms, hands, and other errors, I think it's obvious how much less emotional depth the AI images have. Beware of AI illustrators. Recently, platforms like Facebook, Fiverr, and others have been flooded with so-called illustrators passing off AI-generated images as their own work. Not only is this dishonest and unethical, but it also puts authors at serious risk. AI-generated illustrations cannot be copyrighted, which means your book's artwork could be legally copied, used, or sold by anyone. So how to avoid this trap? Ask for a portfolio. A legitimate illustrator should have a portfolio with examples of hand-drawn or digitally created work that show consistency. AI images lack that cohesive style. Note, some illustrators have different styles, but it shouldn't be a hodgepodge. Look for clues. AI often makes mistakes on hands and fingers. Look for any missing or extra limbs, ears, horns on animals. Look for strange details or lines that shouldn't be there. Request process samples. Very important. Ask for sketches or works in progress from past projects to confirm they're creating the artwork themselves. Watch out for traced images where the illustrator works backwards by tracing an AI image and then presenting that as a sketch. Real illustrators will have rough sketches and usually different iterations of the same scene where they're working out the final illustration or layout, or the sketch will be slightly different to the final scene. You can also ask illustrators who use Procreate to send a video of their drawing process. This is an inbuilt feature in Procreate. Work with trusted sources. Look for illustrators through reputable platforms that have, ideally, been around since before the advent of AI. My company, Get Your Book Illustrations, is one of those. I'll link to it below if you'd like to check it out. And have a contract. You should always have a contract with your illustrator, and in today's world, you should add a clause about AI. I'd suggest that if it is found that the illustrator used AI, they need to refund you in full and the contract is then terminated. This will help safeguard you if they somehow convince you they are legitimate, but then deliver inconsistent illustrations or characters and they can't fix them. If you need a starting point, I've shared a sample contract in the description. You're welcome to copy and adapt. It doesn't contain anything about AI, so you would just need to add that clause. Get input from others. Sometimes AI art is harder to spot than you may think. If you're still uncertain, ask on Facebook in an author or illustrator group. I've seen others do this, and some group members point out amazingly perceptive details. If you're not in any yet, you're welcome to join our Children's Book Mastery community. There's a link to that below too. Protect your book and your reputation by thoroughly vetting illustrators before hiring. It's worth the extra effort to ensure your illustrations are genuine and copyright safe. The truth is, writing a high-quality picture book involves far more than stringing sentences and pictures together. Authors draw on their own experiences, emotions, and understanding of readers to write stories that truly matter. AI, on the other hand, relies solely on algorithms and data. It doesn't know what it feels like to be a child or human, and it cannot replace creativity, emotion, and artistry. Children deserve books that fuel their imaginations and their hearts from authors and illustrators with wonderful imaginations and hearts. So, can authors use AI ethically? Yes, I believe authors can use AI if done in moderation and never to write or illustrate their books. Some things that I think AI can be helpful for: editing assistance. Use AI to help with grammar checks and proofreading. Don't let it change your wording though. Idea generation. AI can be helpful for brainstorming story prompts, character traits, or potential plot lines. Let these ideas serve as inspiration, but ensure your story remains your own. For instance, you can ask AI to give you 10 writing prompts for a children's book or for nonfiction, to list 10 interesting facts about a topic as a thought starter. Then write the book completely without AI. Clarity and readability. Tools like Pro Writing Aid can evaluate the readability of your text and help you adjust for your intended age group. For instance, you can check if your vocabulary is appropriate for young readers. Pro Writing Aid is a fantastic tool that offers comprehensive insights into your writing. Research assistance. AI tools can help you gather information quickly, particularly for nonfiction projects. However, it's critical to fact-check everything. Sometimes AI can give inaccurate information, so treat it as a starting point rather than the final word. Marketing. AI is also helpful to do marketing research, get suggestions for copy to use on your website, or refine your website and marketing copy. Here's what I really think. The conversation about AI in children's books often focuses on surface level trade-offs, speed and cost versus quality and creativity. But to fully understand the impact, we need to dig deeper. At its core, the rise of AI in children's books is a reflection of societal trends that prioritize efficiency, scalability, and profit over depth, authenticity, and connection. This is driving a shift in how many view creative work, not as a craft worth cultivating, but as a money-making commodity to be mass-produced. Some have started treating stories as products rather than the precious tools that they are for growth and imagination. This shift raises even more critical questions. What happens when creativity is devaluated? As the late L. Ron Hubbard said, a culture is only as great as its dreams, and its dreams are dreamed by artists. If stories are created by machines instead of people, we risk turning creativity into an afterthought, reducing art to a commodity. This deprives children of the chance to see themselves as creators and storytellers. Children absorb what they see. If books lose their soul, they may stop viewing art and storytelling as worthwhile pursuits, and that would be a tragedy. Who gets left behind in a world of AI-driven creativity? If publishers choose AI because it's cheaper, what happens to human authors, especially those just starting out? Will voices like yours struggle to find their place in a market that values speed and cost over creativity and that is flooded with low-quality AI books? Writers pour their heart and hard-won skill into their stories. This AI shift poses a threat to authors and illustrators who rely on their craft not only for income, but as a way to connect with readers. Are we solving the wrong problem? The appeal of AI often stems from a perceived problem. Human-created books are too expensive or time-consuming, but that's the wrong focus. Instead, we should be asking, how important are high-quality, human-created children's books? How much are we willing to commit to preserving the magic and meaning that they provide? As an author, are you committed to this journey enough to create a book that truly means something? That means dedicating the time, effort, and resources it takes to create something wonderful, a story with heart and soul. And the question isn't just about the value of children's books, it's about the value of the creative process itself. AI isn't the solution. It's a distraction from the real problem, undervaluing creativity and the people who bring stories to life. Want to see some real examples of books that may have been created using AI? I've linked a few below. These are all books on Amazon. You can use the look inside function or feature to judge for yourself. Just to be clear, these are shared for educational purposes. In my opinion, these are books featuring AI-generated images and possibly AI-generated text. My goal here is simply to help authors learn how to recognize common traits of AI-generated books. All right, here are a few examples. Again, the links are in the description below, and some additional ones are in the description. Max and the Injured Turtle, AI images, and I suspect the text as well. The Little Girl Who Overcame Her Fear, AI images and text. The Great Underwater Treasure Hunt, AI images and text. How Would We Live in a World Without Pink, AI images and text. Here the text says, imagine a world without a trace of pink, where roses are red, but some fade to brink. Cherry blossoms bloom in shades not found, a soft blush lost, no petals around. And one last example, look at the character on the cover and inside Pete and the broken vase. You'll notice the inconsistencies. And as I said, I'll link a few more in the description as well. In my opinion, some AI authors may also be paying for reviews, as certain books show an unusually high number of glowing reviews despite their poor quality. Additionally, some of those reviews have wording that seems to also be AI generated. This highlights the ethical concerns around the use of AI to create books. Because they haven't actually written and gotten their book illustrated, they seem to show a lack of respect for the industry and for authors who poured their heart and sweat into their book. It reflects a mindset of viewing books as a commodity to make money instead of a responsibility towards the reader and an art. All right, over to you. What are your thoughts on using AI in children's books? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your take. It may be hard work, but if you believe in your book and you want to create an outstanding book, you absolutely can. Don't let self-doubt or the convenience of AI overshadow your incredible gift of creativity. Let's keep publishing books that our children deserve. And if you want more guidance like this every week, join my free newsletter, the KidLit Creators Chronicle. There's a link to sign up below.